Hello, good evening. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Good evening.
All right. Yes. All right. Good evening, everyone. Um, so welcome to today's technical session. My name is Samuel. All right. Good evening. My name is Samuel. I'm the event planning lead for ML Lagos. Please pardon me if there's any like background noise. So yeah, welcome to today's technical session. I'm glad to have everyone here. How's been our day? I hope it hasn't been too stressful. Yeah, so just to move quickly into the session for today. So just quick ground rules to help us for the session to flow smoothly. So yeah, let's try and keep our mics muted if we're not speaking or asking any questions. And yeah, feel free to always share your thoughts, drop questions in the chats. Everyone will have a session to ask our questions and have our questions answered. And as always, let's keep the discussion strictly ML and AI related. So yeah, I'm looking forward to today's session. Looking forward to see what Saeed has cooked for us today. And yeah, most importantly, let's try and have fun, listen attentively, and so that we can gain one or two things. And when the time comes, let's ask questions as well. So what we're going to just go through today, I would leave all the talking to Said to walk us through his projects and go over his project and learn one or two things from him as well. Then we'll have a quick question and answer session where you can ask him your questions and whatever other questions you have regarding the project or whatever it might be. Then we'll have short announcements. Then that will be the end. So just to move quickly to it. Said here.
Yeah.
All right, welcome, boss.
Wait, please, can you hear me? Can you confirm if you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Fuck,
you.
fuck. Where I'm coming, I'm trying to mute because I'm joining on two.
Okay, maybe mute the laptop.
The thing is the interference still? Can you still hear like the double sound?
You might have to
The
turn
double
off.
sound, okay?
I think what you can do is
Can you hear me
reduce
at
the
all?
volume.
Yeah, we
Yeah, I
can hear
can
you.
hear you. It's clear. It's clear now.
Okay. So I think the laptop is giving me some sound issues. So what I'm doing now is I'm joining on my phone while I'll present on the laptop. I hope that works.
Yeah, then mute the laptop so the sound doesn't echo into
Yeah,
it.
I just muted that now. Let me share
Okay.
my screen.
All right then. So over to
Okay.
you, Said.
Let me share my screen. Okay. So I'm sharing my screen right now. Is anything coming up?
Not yet. Okay, it's loading.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay. Why is this thing taking time? Okay, can you see the slide now?
Yeah, we can see the slide. Yeah.
Okay, so let me go ahead. So I'm Aziz Saheed Ayanniyi. I want to talk about the story behind NaijaWeb. So NaijaWeb is basically a data set of, it's basically a data set I created that I built with, the idea behind me building it was just to build a data set that has Nigerian context really, how Nigerians use words and all. So let me just dive into it. So this is basically an introduction of, this is just like the preface. Is it preface or table of contents of what this contains? Yeah. So I'll first give an introduction on what dataset is about, the background behind it, like why I created it, what and how basically. Then also the next step I plan on. Why are you guys laughing? The what and why of the project and the next steps. And the next step. Sorry about the kilometer. Okay, so this is my bio. Saheed Me. I'm currently a machine learning engineer at Elkmom. And I'm also a mechanical engineering undergraduate at Unilag. So basically, my life is in two forms. When I'm in school, I'm a mechanical engineer. But when I'm at home, I'm a machine learning engineer. Like this now, I'm at home, but we've resumed. So I'm still a machine learning engineer. But when we resume fully, my life will change. So this is basically all about me. I also like football. And I think that's all about me. And I like sleeping and I like resting. I like shit posting and all. So this is me. You can see me. I'm a fine boy. You can see me here. Really. Yeah, 2 times engineer. That's actually true. Yeah. So what's the motivation behind NaijaWeb? So basically, I was a machine learning engineer since 2020. I started taking courses on machine learning and all. So around 2023 or 2022, majorly, I saw people talking about ChatGPT. What's ChatGPT? But me, I didn't know anything about that regard. What I majorly focused on was tabular machine learning using scikit-learn. I don't know if you guys know, if everybody knows what scikit-learn is. So I just use scikit-learn, build models on CSV files. That's what my knowledge was as at that time. But I saw people talking about ChatGPT that this ChatGPT is good. And I had a friend who is like a dev. He's telling me that it's LLMs that are running now. You that you're a machine learning engineer, you should be enjoying. But me, I was like, and we were in school then. I was like, I don't really understand how this thing works. So my plan for this year, 2024, was that this year I will try to dive deeper into LLM and check how it works. So that was majorly the motivation for me going into this year. So on to the next slide. So my first project was around June. So then I was taking courses on LLMs, trying to understand what they do. I can remember going through this. There's this deep learning.ai course I took around LLMs. So I was understanding what they are gently. So my first project was around June. So what I did in June was, my first LLM-based project was in June. What I did was I got Llama 3, the 8 billion version, and I got like a Nigerian question to answer data set. And I trained the model basically to answer question like a Nigerian. So what I did was I went to Neuraland. I checked like a post, because some people ask question on Neuraland. And some people will respond to the question. I got like the question and I got the response, and I built like a question to answer data set. And Llama 3 8B is like a good model. So I just trained it to answer questions like a Nigerian. So that was like my first project into the LLM space, really. So what is NaijaWeb? So NaijaWeb is basically an attempt at creating a pre-training data set that can be used to train a Nigerian LLM. So in my journey in diving into LLMs and how they work, I was reading research papers around GPT-2. I read the research paper around GPT-2 and some blog articles. I saw somewhere that in creating GPT-2, they went to Reddit and they got data sets from Reddit. So I was not like, from a Nigerian point of view, we don't have a data set like that. So that was when I started thinking about NaijaWeb. Although the idea wasn't fully formed, but I knew that, I want to create something that is Nigerian based and like a data set that is Nigerian based, really. So so NaijaWeb is basically 270,000 web pages from outbound links from Netherlands. So what I mean by outbound links is, when you make a post on Netherlands, you add a link to it. So those are the posts I got, really. Like when you make a post on Twitter, like you post an article on Twitter and you add a link to your article. So it's the content of those links you added that I got, just that type of stuff that I got from Netherlands, really. So it's not that I got Netherlands text, really. It was just the links. And so it's just the links from Netherlands that I got the text from. Those links. That was what I did basically. But if you don't understand that, I'm going to dive deeper. Okay, so why Netherlands? Basically, a lot of what I've done has been around Netherlands. So the reason why I use Netherlands is basically because that's like the only Nigerian social media we have. Only social media we have. Because everything about Netherlands is still centered around Nigeria. Like people and another reason is also I was like a Netherlands user for like a 3-year period. So it's slightly a part of me. Yeah, so that's the reason why I opted for Netherlands. And I also know that it's like whatever I get from Netherlands is still something that Nigerians have shown interest in, really. And another reason is that it's easy to web scrap. There's no API restriction. I still have like 8 for Elon Musk. I don't know if 8 is to call it because he restricted the Twitter API. I still have this beef with him, Sha. So Netherlands is easy to web scrape. That was why I opted for Netherlands. So how did I create NaijaWeb? So the first thing I did was web scrape Netherlands. So what I did was I'm going to show you the repo and I'll do a walkthrough of the repo later. But basically what I did was I got to Netherlands and I extracted like posts and comments from Netherlands. I was just shuffling randomly through like all the posts and comments and I was just extracting them and saving them into a CSV file. That was like the first step I did. So, and this took me like probably a week to get all the data sets, like to web scrap all what I needed. So I'll go to like the politics section, get all the links in the politics section, enter into the link, not by links now, I mean links, because like when you open a section now, there will be links to all the posts in the section, inside that section. Like, as mean somebody posted in the politics section that Tinubu has been announced president, Dangote refinery has started working. Someone created a thread of that. I will go of that, yeah, like a thread on that. So I will go into the thread and I will extract like all the posts there. So that was what I did. So after that, after saving those posts and comments into like a CSV file, wait, I'm coming. I want to check. Okay. So after saving those posts into a CSV file, I now created another file that went through all the posts I had and check all the links that are in the post I had. So for example, if someone makes a post about Dangote refinery and someone adds a link, adds a source link, taking you to a punch page, announcing it, I'll get that page, I'll take it out. As me, somebody replies with, this thing is a lie. David Ondein said it's a lie, and David Ondein published another article on it and added a link to it. I will extract those links too. So that was what I did, basically. So I extracted all the links and I saved them somewhere. So I also know that many of those links are invalid. Like, for example, now, like Facebook posts now or Twitter links, those links wouldn't add much to what I'm doing. So I removed those links from that. And the idea behind removing those links wasn't originally my idea. I saw it from someone's repo. So that was what I did. So after that, now what I now had was like set of invalid links and set of valid links, right? So what I did next was I went to the valid links and I extracted I web scraped the valid links really. So all the valid links I created. Web scraping is really creating like a Python script that will enter that page and get all the content. So I got all the content to those links, the HTML content, and I saved them somewhere. So that was like the next phase of what I did. Okay. And I used this package called async IO and HTTPX. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I'll dive deeper into why I use them later. So what I did previously was I got the content of those pages and I saved them into a file. I saved them into a pickle file, Python has this way of saving like objects. So that was where I saved them to. So after getting also I think one thing I should do is I should mention like the amount of files I had in each process. So after I web scraped, I had like about 20 million posts from Netherlands, like 20 million posts and comments. So after I removed the invalid links, I think I got about 1 million links that were valid. No, I got about 940 something thousand links that were valid. So it was the 940 something thousand links I web scraped really. Let me check time. I'm about 22 minutes in. Okay. So I now extracted this content of those pages I was able to web scrape. So I think I got about 300,000. The reason why it's 300,000 compared to the valid links that is about 1 million is many of those pages, because I web scraped from when Netherlands started, they were like 2006. Netherlands was created in 2006. So some of those pages, like they were no longer valid. Some of them, their domain name had expired. So many of those links were not valid anymore. So that was why from 1 million links, I had about 300,000 plus. So another issue was that many of those pages, like they are not, it was telling me not found. And so that was why it's relatively few. So I did web scraping in some of those web pages. They were giving me a 403 error. And I think the reason for that majorly is because I was web scraping, they banned bots. Like they detected I was using a bot system. So they actually banned me. There's this thing called a user agent that website detects when you open the website. But from the user agent and some other information you provide, they will know that this is not from a real browser. So they were blocking those links. So I was now web scraping those links. I used something called Cloud Scraper. I don't know why there's Trafilatura. Yeah, I use Trafilatura, but not for that purpose. So I use something called the Cloud Scraper. So Cloud Scraper is a package that helps to circumvent bots, all these bot blocker system. Does it majorly. So after getting so I extracted the content using Trafilatura. So Trafilatura is like it's a package that helps extract, because what I had was an HTML content. Trafilatura has been built such that it can get like the important parts from a web page. Like there are some parts from a web page that will be invalid. So Trafilatura will just get the valid parts, really. And I also cleaned the data set using Data Trove library. So Data Trove library is a library built by Hugging Face. They use it to build like this, their fine web data set they released recently. So that was why I used it. So a lot of the inspiration of what I did here was from their fine web data sets. So the Trafilatura idea was from their fine web data set because they did like a comparison of several data extraction methods and which one is better. So I just followed the steps of what they did there. Okay, so that's it on this page. Let me go over it again to see if there's anything I'm missing. Yeah, so I use the Data Trove library. So the Data Trove library, it has they've written like a lot of functions to handle what Hugging Face needs. in building data sets. So that was why I just jumped on it instead of me using pandas and writing my own pure. I don't like stress, I beg. So yeah, so these are the libraries I use. This async IO and HTTPX, they were used to like web scrape the pages majorly. So async IO is used to handle asynchronous programming. Yeah. So instead of waiting for a web page to load before I move to the next one, so it helps undo that. So it can move to the next one and it will wait for the previous one. Like it's basically faster. That's the reason I use this. I also tried. I've forgotten the. I also tried using Beautiful Soup. No, I still use Beautiful Soup in this. I tried the pure request library, but I was running into some error. Like there are sometimes the web pages will be loading. The web pages will be loading and it will take time to load because I was doing a number of web pages. So I couldn't really figure out what the error is. But with these two, I could write something like if the function is taking too much time to if the web page is taking too much time to load, I beg stop and move to the next one. So I moved to Panda. Sorry. So I used pandas because a lot of what I saved was in data frame format. So I use pandas a lot. I use Trafilatura to extract the content of the web pages. I use data trove to clean the data, and I use cloud scraper to bypass these bots blockers, that block my bots from viewing them, and I use cloud scraper to use it to extract to web scrape those web pages. The reason why I use this first before this is these two are faster, this is slower. So by using this first, I've already filtered those who were giving me like a 403 error. So and I use the Hugging Face dataset library, which is very useful. So this allows me to save my data set in Hugging Face dataset format and also push them to Hugging Face majorly. Okay, so and these libraries it was only Trafilatura and Hugging Face dataset I knew that I had worked with before. These four, I didn't know them prior to working on this project. It was just me trying to like Google search how to do so, read their documentation. It was not that I knew these libraries before. I didn't know them at all. So, and with the help of ChatGPT too. So that was what helped me. Anytime I encounter an error, I will ask Google, I will ask ChatGPT. So that was the process I went through really with these libraries. Okay, why isn't great? Okay, the next page. Challenges I faced. The first challenge is runtime. Because I'm web scraping a large number of web page, I need to like get my code running all the time. You get. So what I did was I used Google Colab because Google Colab is online. I'm not using my own laptop. And Google Colab has more memory. And also because downloading will take much data. If I'm using my own device, or I'm using my own environment, it will take my own data. But Google Colab is Colab that is worrying about the data. Another reason why I use Google Colab was my data is about to finish.
Sorry, is it just me or I can't hear him again? Hello?
I think
Sorry,
it's
it's
not
I also
just
can hear you.
he's trying to sort out the data.
I also can't hear him.
Please let's hold on for Said to reconnect. Let's just hold on.
Okay, so in the meantime, I will wait for Saeed to join back. Um, I just want to use this opportunity to say two things. First off, if you have any questions, you can drop your questions on the chat section, and the moderator would pick it up. The second one is, I don't know if we have new members that or people that just joined. Maybe they saw the meet call somewhere, or they just joined randomly and they aren't part of the community yet. So
I'm sorry, guys. Please, can you hear
yes,
me?
back. So yeah, sorry, just a quick one. I was just telling them something. So I was saying, in case you are not a member of the community, I can just drop the link, and
Okay.
yeah, that's like it. So back to Said. Thank you very much.
Wait, I'm trying to set up with okay, join now. I'm trying to like set up with my system.
Okay, or
The network is
should I share screen for you?
okay.
Yeah, I could do that.
Should you share what for me? Is
What
that
did
what
you
you
say?
said?
I said I
What
could
did you
share,
say?
like I could share your slides for you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh no,
just
don't worry, I'll share it. I thought you
okay.
said, can you share what for me?
Oh no.
Okay. Let me share my screen. Nigerian network. Or more. So can you see my screen now? Not yet. Okay, I think it has come up. So challenges I faced. So runtime, power, and I mentioned blocks, both blockers. So the last challenge I faced was in my mind, I was asking myself all through this process that, is this project worth it? This data set where they work on, like, what's the essence of it? So I thank God I eventually completed it and I released it. So that was just the challenges I faced, really. Okay. Okay. So what's next for NaijaWeb? So I'll probably create like a bigger one and a more Nigerian language inclusive one in the future. Because when I was done with the data set, I checked the languages. I observed that not many of them was Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa. Like they were very low. They were very low. Although the web pages from like Nigerian websites and Punch, Vanguard, and many websites, but I expected that there will be many Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa representation in them. I observed that was quite low. So I'll probably work on a bigger one in the future, right? Although there are some Yoruba, I know that BBC Yoruba was dead in the data set, but it wasn't that much as I want it to be. Because imagine saying you are releasing a NaijaWeb data set for Nigeria and we don't have Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa, like really. So that's what I'll work on next. So advice for future projects. So I think if you want to build a project, like just build a project that applies to you as a Nigerian, or like just build a project that you can tell a story behind. One thing I loved about this project is that, can everybody see my slide? Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
we can see your slide.
okay. So build a project that like applies to you. Like, how do I put this now? So when I push this project online, I observed that because I could tell a story about it, that because I'm trying to build something for like Nigerians, it's so well. Many people were interested in it. Even many people who messaged me about the project, they were asking me some questions that I know that this guy didn't understand this project. But because the project pertains to Nigerian, like building language models for Nigerians, like we are underdeveloped, under resourced, someone is working on it. Some people like took interest in it. People took interest in it, really. So if you are building a project, just make sure you build something that applies to you. You are in, like, don't just build a project that you can't tell a story behind. Just build a story that applies to you, really. Another issue is web scraping. I know in Nigeria, there's really no legal restriction about web scraping. But be careful when you're web scraping a website. Not that you web scrape one site now, you go receive lawsuits. So that's another issue you should be worried about. So I web scrape Neuraland. I didn't see like any issues web scraping Neuraland. I didn't get any response from them. But I won't be shocked if tomorrow they raise a lawsuit or something like that, which I don't want. But I'm just saying really that you should be careful about the website you web scrape. Some people don't like their data being used unnecessarily. So that's another issue about legal issues around web scraping. I'm working on another project now. It's basically on web scraping, but I don't know if I'll release it publicly because I'm scared of legal issues too. I don't want wala. Nah, money to chop I dey find. So thank you. So that's all about the process behind it. So let me now go to the code base. I'll do that quickly. Okay. So shadow close. Okay, still open. So this is like can you still see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay. So can you see like GitHub on the screen? Okay, I can see it too. Yeah. So these are like the web pages I use. The collab notebook I use. I converted them to Jupyter notebook and I just pushed them here. So the first page is the web scrap Neuraland page. I should have opened this down, but let me open it. So this is the web scrap Neuraland page is the page that goes to Neuraland and gets the post and comments. After this, then the extract outbound links. This is the links that goes to this is the notebook that goes over the outbound, all the links in the post and extract them. And it also removes the invalid one. So that's what this one does. Then after I extracted the outbound links, I downloaded the web pages. So this goes over all the links and download the content of the web pages. So after that, there's the web scrape 403. So this was where I used the cloud scraper I mentioned earlier. So pages that failed with the download web pages, I use cloud scraper to extract to web scrape it really. So after I web scrape the 403, I use the fine web clean data. Yeah, that was what I did next. So this does the same cleaning they did on fine web on the data set I had. And the reason I'm hammering on fine web, why I follow their process is Hugging Face is a big company. They've done a research on this thing where they compared several cleaning techniques and they selected which one was better. So I just followed what they did really. So that was why I used the fine web clean data. So shout out to the guys at Hugging Face too. So after fine web clean data, I use this pi formatter. So what pi formatter does is it removes all personal identifiable information. Like some people who add their email to do web pages. I remove them deliberately. The reason I'm removing them is nobody likes his email being out there. Imagine training that data set and it's predicting someone's email. Although the chance of that happening is low, but I just want to remove that possibility because it's also normal practice to remove personal identifiable information. So that was why I did that. So after that, I pushed to up. So that's the function of the push to up. I push Hugging Face up. So Hugging Face is like GitHub, but for models and data sets. So they make it easy for you to manage and download data sets. Like with one line of code. No, not one line, I'm exaggerating. It's like 3 lines of code. You can download the data set from Hugging Face. So it's like the GitHub for open source ML. So after push to up, I also extracted this NaijaWeb edu. So the web pages I decided to rank them based on how educative they are. Some web pages are more educative than the other. So I rank them based on how educative they are. It's based on a score of 1 to 5. No, 0 to 5, really. So 5 is very educative. 4 is less like educative. 0 is not educative at all. So I now created like a sub data set showing the one that are very educative, the one that are intermediate, why the one that are not educative. So I created like a subset called NaijaWeb Edu, which consists of data sets that are very educative. And I did that because FineWeb, they did that too. Okay, so that's it. Yeah, oh, these two, I missed them out. So what these two do is they go into the web, because the pages I'm web scraping and I'm saving, they have like the full HTML of the site. So these pages goes into the HTML and extract the useful content there using what I call Trafilatura. So that was what these two web pages do. So this one does it for the links that didn't give me a 403. This one does it for the links that gave me a 403 that I had to re-web scrap using this web scrape 403. So let me just, I don't know, because of time, if I should go over each of the pages really.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
I
can.
can. Okay, so let me go to this web scrape Netherlands. So this is what, let me just go over it quickly. So I'm installing something called a fake user agent. So because I'm web scraping, I didn't want, if you web scrape using like normal Python, really, the site that you are web scraping will know that this person is a bot because of the type of user agent your request is going to be returning. So I use fake user agent to like fake the user agent. So that was why I'm installing this. So these are the libraries I use: Beautiful Soup, user agent, Piku, Pandas, CQDM. This is like to show the progress of what you are doing. Iter tools. I know it's to iterate. I know I used it, but I can't even forget what I did. So this me. Okay. So this goes to Netherlands and fetch all the posts. Really, that's what this function does. This gets, wait. So this function is the same thing. This goes to Netherlands and gets all the posts from all the posts that were posted in a section. For example, in a section now, if they post all the posts they posted in that section, it gets over it. And I just have to pass in the URL. So I set something called a timeout. That means after 50 seconds, if this request doesn't return, it should stop. That's like an advantage of using AIO HTTP. Oh, I said HTTPX. It was AIO HTTP I used, not HTTPX. I'm sorry for that error. So that's what this function does. It goes over a section in Netherlands, gets all the posts in that section. So this is like a test process. You can see I gave it the link to the career page of Netherlands, and it gets all the posts in that page. Okay, so what this function does is each of these posts here, it gets all the posts and comments that way. Like for example, this post now, it will check all the posts and comments that are inside this post that this person make. So that's what this function does. You can see it returns a post list. That's the list of everything. So the first item in the list is like the main post, while the remaining item is the comments in that list. Okay. And also, fun fact, this function, I've written it is like 2022. I had like a short project where I web scrape Netherlands. So what I just did this year is I just went here. What I had written in 2022, I just plug and play, and all. That was what I did. Okay. So is there anything I need to mention here? So also another thing I need to say is try and accept. I use that a lot here. If you can check this place, I did try and accept. I use that a lot. The reason is because I'm web scraping a lot of pages. Some pages will be empty. Something is bound to fail. So in case there's a failure, it should just return like empty list. I know what like this thing fail, just move to the next one. That was what I did here. So this is like the link for each section. This is their link, really. Okay, and I got like because for this section now, this section, assuming it has like 600 page for this section. So this just gets this function just get like all the links to the pages in that section. So it just adds like slash the page number. So that was what it does. So Neraland.tech market / page number. I have to go over this fast. Okay, so what this does is like this like a master function of this get or post of this fetch post. So this makes it faster. So I've written like a function that handles individually. So I just wrote a function that handles it in batch. And this function that handles it in batch, it has this facility that it can wait. If it tries the first one and is not responding yet, it will try like the second one, whichever ones respond faster. And it will still be waiting as many it runs 10 at a time. As it's coming, it will be receiving them. Whichever one comes faster, it will be receiving them. It's better than running 1 before going to 2, before going to 3, before going to 4. Okay, so that's what this does. So that's like the major stuff here. So I also saved the link. You can see /content/drive. So I'm saving it to my drive. So that was what I did there. So that's all on this article. That's all on this page. Okay, after this, what's next? I have to be faster. I want to use like 5 minutes to finish this before we move into question and answer because of time. Okay, let me go down. So extract outbound links. Yeah, that's the next. I should have opened all this tab down. I'm sorry for that. Okay, this is loading. Okay, another thing I should mention is this function, I say function. I don't know why function is coming to my mouth. These notebooks you are seeing, this just one. I ran like 9 of each of them because I'm working on a large data set. I had to split all of them into like 9 different notebooks so that as one is running, another one is running. So instead of me running one notebook that I have to wait for that one to run finish, I just splitted what I needed to handle. For example, someone called me, I'm sorry. If I need to handle like 900 links, 900,000 links, I divided them into 100,000. So as one notebook is running, another notebook is running, another notebook is running. So this is just like one version of each of the notebooks, but it's still the same thing that is inside. It's still the same thing that is inside. Please, was there a break in the call? Because someone called me now. I don't know if you missed anything.
No, there was no break. You can continue.
Okay. So this me writing a function that check if this post has a link, like it has an outbound link. If you make a post on Neraland, did you attach a link to that post? That was what this function does. Okay, then I went over the function and I extracted the links there. That's what this function does. Okay, so you can see that some of these pages are repeated. This data food, I'm sure there's another data food somewhere there. Like data politics now, there's data politics 2, there's data politics 3. Because I have to split them. Because when I'm done with one, because I said I split it into like 9 notebooks, like I said earlier. So I did data politics on one notebook, data politics 2 on another notebook. So that's why it's split this way. So this is the total I was able to get. These 28 million posts, although many of them are duplicates, many of them are empty, many of them are irrelevant. Is the total value count of what I was able to get. Okay, I also dropped duplicates. I think that's the major thing about this. Also, I excluded like domains. These are the domains I excluded. And these links wasn't from me. It's from an open source repo I saw on web scraping too. Yeah, and I also removed Neraland.com because there's no point trying to web scrape Neraland again. Like, you can make a post on Neraland and add another Neraland link. Like that would be like double trouble. So I just remove posts that have Neraland. I also remove links that had like that ended with like .png, .jpg, .jpeg. because some people can post link to an image, and there's no point to scrapping those things. There's no information they provide me. I dropped that too. And that's what I did really. Also, some links ended with full stop because of Netherlands formatting. Some link went with full stop, and those links are invalid. Like if you open them with a web page, they won't open. So I had to remove them. So that's what I did really. So I want to move very fast because of time. Okay, what else again? Extract Netherlands outbound links. So web scrape, download web pages. So this is the function that goes into each of the page. I'm saying function. This is the notebook that goes into the web page and download their content. Okay. So basically, the repo is available open source. So in your free time, you can still check it. I'll try to go over it, but in case there are some things I don't say, you can just check it during your free time. And basically, the notebook basically comprises of other people's open source solution too. So that's why it's open source really. And the reason why it's open source is also because I defined job. So I'm hoping someone will see my repo and hire me. So that's another reason why it's open source. Okay, so this is the page that checks all the website and extract their content. So fetch, and you can see I keep using try and except in case there's any error. That's another important part. And this main script is basically a larger function that runs this inside. Okay, so I'm moving fast. Also, I had to create I had to split those links into batch in case there's a failure somewhere. So I'll know which batch to continue instead of starting from the beginning. So this is me scrapping each of the batch. So that's what I did here. I think that's all with this function, with this notebook, not function. I keep making that mistake. So download web pages. Where next? So this web scrape 403 is the same thing, but it uses cloud scraper instead. But this runs slower than this. So that was why I used this as like a second test phase. So what I just did was the web pages I got, any ones that returns 403, I just used this instead. So that was what I did here. This stuff is taking time. Okay. Let me just open them at once. Save. I'm going to the next one. I'm sorry. Okay, I just want to open the Netherlands website. So in case I don't go over the code finish, I'll just explain some stuff I'm saying. And Netherlands is actually very fast. Like you can see, it has opened now. The web page on GitHub I was trying to open, did not open, but Netherlands has opened. That's another reason why I used it, because it responds to requests very fast. Yeah, so this is a section. This is like politics section. You can see it's very fast. This politics section, these are all the posts on politics sections. What I did was I come here, get this post, get this post, get this link, get this link, get this link, get everything onto the bottom part. So after I get everything, I come over here, I check each of these posts. This is like a post. This is the main post here. I get everything here. So the person added a link here. So this is the link I'm interested in. Not that I use data from Netherlands directly. The link, Netherlands is just like a pointer to links that Nigerians have interest in. I didn't use Netherlands data directly. So after I get the post, I also got the comments and I added them to what I had. I also know that people can add links to comment too. So that was why I did that. Although I know the link to comment, the link for comment will be quite lower, because you can see we've not seen any link in a comment. You can see. So this is like the posts and comments Also, another thing I should point out is I still have like a CSV file of each of the contents containing the post, really post and comment. So I don't know if I can still make use of that. But the downside of that is Netherlands is low quality itself. Look, in fact, look at this. It's saying it's unfortunate. Indeed, Nigeria is a zoo. If you build a model like that, DSS go come knock on your door the next morning. so 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 like that's why this data from Netherlands directly really. Because of time, I don't know if what we have left is 3 minutes. If you or Samuel, should I go ahead with the code review, or we should just get questions? The repo is open source. People can just take a look. And if you have questions, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn or Twitter or on the community group. I'll respond. Can you guys actually hear me? I've been speaking to myself since.
Yeah, I think like you said, because of time, should we go on? Okay, because of time, I think you can share the link to the GitHub repo.
Okay.
Then I think people can check it out. Yeah.
Okay.
I think there are a few questions here.
What am I doing? Okay, I'll paste the link now. Okay, I think I can see some questions. Let me just answer them. Let me post a link to the data set again. Okay. I'm coming. Okay. Okay, this is the data set link. So something I want to go over quickly is it here? I didn't add it. There was something I wanted to point out, but it's not here. Let me just answer the questions.
All right, so let me just run over it for you. Because I think you've answered this one, but someone asked, how did you work with the restriction on collab?
The thing
Like
for
the
me,
time restriction.
I understand. The thing for me is 12 hours is a long time. I can't even keep my own laptop running from 12 hours for 12 hours, or even my phone too. So most likely for me, before the 12-hour ends, my runtime would have disconnected. So I'll just start from the beginning again. So I splitted most of what I did into batch. And I majorly was printing where I was stopping. Like there were parts where I printed, so I'll know which item am I iterating over. So when it stops, I'll be able to start by shifting the position of what I was iterating over. So that was how I handled the 12-hour limit on collab. So if you disconnect, I restart again, change the iteration, change like the position of what I was iterating over. So that was how I handled the restriction on collab. And also, I have like three Gmails really. So on each of them, I was running something at a point in time. So that helped me like reduce the time needed, because if I were to use one notebook for everything, it would take a lot of time. I don't know if you get it. So that's my answer to that.
So next question. Okay, you said, can the cloud scraper do everything, or is there a reason you used it only for 403 pages alone?
Yes, there are many errors. There's 404 error, there's 405 error, and so many of those errors cloud scraper cannot, because 404 means there's no content. This content is not found. So cloud scraper cannot resolve that. Cloud scraper only resolves like 403 error that resulted from the website you are trying to web scrape blocking you. and it majorly uses major website uses Cloudflare. There is this Cloudflare bot blocker. So Cloudscraper tries to beat that, although it's not perfect. Yeah, so that's what Cloudscraper do. Let me look at the question. Well, can the Cloudscraper do everything? Or is there a reason? Yeah, that was the reason why I did it for 40 web pages. And it's even the 40 web pages, Cloudscraper didn't still web scrape all of them. Really, it just like web scrape the ones it could. So people will always block you. There are many ways to block you. It's just like the way police is trying to enforce the law. There are people who still beat the system. And there are people who try to beat the system that get caught too. So 403 is Cloud Scraper doesn't work for all 403 web pages, but it's like the best of all the options I tried. Because I knew I checked Stack Overflow, how to bypass 403 web pages. I checked a lot of this thing. And this was the best for me. So on what basis? Oh, you are the one asking the question. Go ahead, Samuel. I wanted
No,
to.
no problem. I saw Tosin's and it's up. I don't know, Tosin, do you want to add something?
Yeah. I wanted to just like confirm. I don't think he got the question I was asking very well. Yeah, I think he
Okay.
explained it that Cloud Scraper was like the best options for 403. What I'm saying
Yeah.
is that instead of first of all doing everything, yeah, then segregating only the 403 and using Cloud Scraper
Yes.
on, yeah,
Yes.
can we just like right from the start just like use Cloud Scraper for everything? So we know
Yes,
that
you
both
can.
the normal ones and the ones that
I get.
403 that I can do, can you just like do everything at once?
Yes, it can actually, but Cloud Scraper is slower. You get
Okay,
the
yeah,
first
yeah.
method is very fast. So by using the first method, I've already done a faster approach and separated the ones I need Cloud Scraper to focus on. If I use Cloud Scraper from start, it would have taken more time to go over everything. So that was why. Do you understand my response? Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
I got it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So next question, I know you can see it, but this one is asking about how you ranked how the pages were ranked. Is there a library to do that?
Yes. I mentioned FineWeb earlier. So when they built their data set, they built Hugging Face FineWeb and they built FineWeb Edu. So they built a model that ranks a page, like that ranks a web page according to how educative it is. So that was the model I used. They actually trained the model on. They used an LLM to train to build their train set. The model was somehow complex. Sure. They used an LLM to build like a train set. They now used another LLM. They now trained another LLM on the train data set to identify like how educative the web page is. So they gave ChatGPT, was it ChatGPT or Llama they used? They gave it like some set of web pages that should run those web pages into how educative they are. Yeah. So they now built another model on the results from Llama. So that was what they did. So I just used the model they used and I used it directly. So, but another downside of me using that is what the model they used was probably on, like the data set they trained the model on was probably not Nigerian based. So me using a model that wasn't trained on a fully Nigerian data might not translate to good results. That's just a downside of what I did. So that was the ranking. That was how I ranked it. Let me share the classifier I use. Can you move to the next question while I try to do that?
All right, no problem. So the next one, Uchina is asking, do you need to be a software developer first, then become an ML engineer? Is it required or considered due process? I don't know if you can share some insights on that.
Okay. I feel like that depends, yeah. But for me, I started my career trying to go into machine learning. And at some point, I was hearing that backend was making more money. So I jumped into Flask and I didn't do anything really on a commercial basis, but I learned Flask. But my career from start has been machine learning. So that's how me I started until I got to where I am. So I learned Flask. The fact that I learned Flask helped me, because now I'm not scared of deploying my models. I can deploy any model I want to. Like, I'm not really scared of anything from the backend side or point of view. But I don't think you don't need to do backend. That's my personal opinion. You don't need to do backend because me, I didn't start up going into backend. I went into ML for some point and I had like a period where I took a course on Flask. Not really a course, a YouTube series on Flask. I read books on Flask. I know how to implement basic Flask this thing, but I can't call myself, if I'm applying for a job, I can actually squeeze my resume to a software developer role, but that's not my main thing. I started with ML and I branched into software and I came into ML back. So I don't think, for my part, I don't think you need to do software, but the knowledge helps. Surely it helps. It helps. The fact that you're into backend test is very easy for you to dive into. Not very easy, very easy. No, nothing is hard actually if you are focused enough. But like it will be easier for you than someone who is just starting up. I don't think you should have any issues going into ML. Don't be worried. Don't be worried about it. I started with Python, then I took some course on by IBM, which I basically rushed to, and I fraudulently submitted. This call is recorded. Let me keep my mouth shut. So I submitted the my the task they gave me that course, which I'm not sure I understood. So if somebody who just started from Python could move, you that know software, it should be easy for you. Should be easy for you. Should be easy. Should be easy. Don't know whatever you've heard now lie. Nothing is hard.
All right. So Jenna is asking again, how did your laptop handle these projects? Like, what parts were demanding for your laptop, your
Okay,
computer?
so basically, I did the fact that I was using Collab means I wasn't handling anything. I wasn't handling any memory. Collab was handling the memory for me. So my laptop didn't suffer too much. In fact, I can run the same thing on my phone. A large percentage of what I did was me writing this thing on my laptop, leaving my phone to run it. You just need a browser to run it. My laptop didn't suffer anything at all. The only thing my laptop and phone suffered was the process of trying to keep this thing running. Yeah, that was the only thing. I didn't use any. That was I didn't use any like my laptop didn't suffer anything basically. I just needed to keep my laptop or phone running. That's the advantage of Collab. And is this a Google community? I want to confirm. I remember and I don't know. So like that's an advantage of Google Sha. That's why I love Collab. Another alternative to Collab is Kaggle kernel or whatever they call it. I think that Kaggle is owned by Google too. So Kaggle kernel, it does the same thing. It gives you like a virtual notebook where you can run stuff. But the reason I didn't use Kaggle kernel is I prefer Collab's UI. I prefer Collab's UI personally. And also, Kaggle banned my account over this project because while I was iterating, like, before I ran the final script, I was checking what to work at and what won't work. So I was testing something on Kaggle platform, actually. And I think they probably suspected that because my function was running continuously, it wasn't responding. They thought I was probably mining something. They have like this rule against mining something using their notebooks and their environment. Yeah. Probably thought I was mining something, so they use Kaggle. I don't know if maybe because what I was running, I didn't run it well because it was like I was still testing what will work and what won't work. So they suspended my accounts. So I had to create a new Kaggle account. I'll still appeal to that one later. So, but for now, Google Colab is the best for my own personal preference. There's a large community that uses Kaggle. Kaggle. There is this Kaggle kernel. There are many people that prefers it, but me, I prefer Colab because it also links to Drive. I prefer working with my Drive, really. So
All
next
right.
question, please.
Last question. Yeah, so this will be the last question because of time. So Bucci is asking, what models would you advise one to use, probably for fine tuning and other forms of remodeling?
Okay. It depends on. Okay, I want to take a look at the question, please.
Okay, sure.
So the LLM is for conversational like GPT. I also convert images to text. Okay. So I think instead of an LLM, me, I've not built something like this personally, although I've looked into something like this. I think maybe what you don't need, maybe what you need is not an LLM, it's like a system. So it's mentioned that convert images to text. I think what you need is like a system. They are like open source LLMs that handles that. There's something called VLM. I'm not sure the name is VLM, like visual language model. There are many open source models that can do that, but I've not worked with them before. And I also doubt their performance. What I think you can use is you can use like the GPT API, the OpenAI API. Use one of their models that works. But there are open source models that does this, but I've not worked with them, so I can't point out one that does this per se. But there are LLMs that convert images to text and allow users have conversations. They are open source ones. I've seen them before. But I've not used them before. So I really can't speak on which one you need to use. But if you want to fine tune, there are many things you have to look at. You have to look at like computing power, because for an LLM that can handle image, it's probably be very big. So you have to look at your computing power. It might not be the highest performing LLM you use. The highest performing LLM might be too big for your memory, like for your computer's memory, when you want to fine tune, really. So that's another thing. So if in case you need a good option of one to use, you can just go over research papers. That's like the needed source of knowledge. Just go over research papers on virtual language models. Yeah. So that's it basically.
All right, thank you. So this will be the last questions because of time. Bolaji, I can see your hand is up.
Oh, yes. Good evening, everyone. Actually, I wanted to share some around the whole legal part of web scraping. So if you
Okay.
visit the website of basically every website has a robot.txt. And
Yes.
yes, if I can share my screen, because I opened a couple of websites down. So for example, if we check NairaLand, the robots.txt on NairaLand, this is what is there. And we have for user agents, which means all robots that are trying to scrape disallow. You are not allowed to web scrape any page that starts with /Nigeria. You are not allowed to web scrape any page that starts with /this or what's this? That starts with any of these. I opened another website. This is Jumia. You can see that Jumia is very long. The instructions on how you should scrape or not scrape their website.
Okay. Yeah, that's
This
nice.
one is you are not allowed to send more than 200 requests per minute. And there are the pages that are disallowed, pages that are allowed. There's also a way to add name to your user agents, because when you make searches on Google actually works as a web scraper to get information from websites. So there's a way you can add this information in your website so they'll know that, oh, this person is Google. So there's a way you can add identity to your web scraping. For example, this last page is Price Pally user agents that applies to all user agents. You can scrape all their pages except the pages that start with checkout, pages that start with account, and yes. So basically, that was what I wanted to add about the legal part concerning scraping. So before you scrape a website, you can just check to see, oh, what pages can I scrape or what pages can I not scrape. So that was what I wanted to add.
Yeah,
All right,
thank you
very
so much for that, Bolaji. And also, something I must point out is I actually went over the robot.txt file for NairaLand, but I didn't understand it really. I can remember copying the content and pasting them on ChatGPT that explain this thing for me. Can I web scrape this? Can I not? So it's important that you mentioned that we should go over the robot.txt file. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much, Said. I think that's the last question we're taking, or last contribution. Thank you so much, Said, for your time and for walking us through your projects. Please let's give a round of applause through the icons to Said. Um, the
Send
links that he
me
shared,
send something to my account.
let's send something to his account. So the links that I dropped in the chat will also be shared on the main community group chat as well. And so yeah, just to move on now. So I don't know if you can see this to my screen. Okay. So yeah, follow if you are not already, follow our social media pages on X, Twitter, and follow us on LinkedIn as well. We'll be dropping more updates soon. For example, regarding the next technical session later in December, we'll be dropping an update around that soon. And for any other updates regarding whatever events and plans we have, so kindly follow our social media pages if you aren't already. And so yeah, and also feedback is really important to us. Let us know what you think about this session and what you want us to improve on, or maybe things you want us to do as well. We love to hear from you. And I think on that note, we can bring today's session to an end. Thank you everyone for joining. Uh, the discussion doesn't have to end here. You can always continue on the group chats and keep the discussion going. So thank you everyone. Thank you Said once again for your time and have a nice rest of the day, everyone. Bye.
Okay, thank you so much. So whoever is editing the recording, I beg, edit where I said forward, where I said forward, I beg. And also, it's I messages on Twitter. Yeah, I take messages on Twitter. It's just that like I get like